Tonight, I'll be talking to Drew Prusko of Orange Drink, and I'll be asking the hard-hitting questions no one could possibly think to ask. Coming up next on Monkey Tonight. Don't go anywhere. Hello, welcome to Monkey Tonight.
Thanks, it's great to be here.
I've been wanting to have you on the show for a long time.
I know, our schedules have been crazy.
Schedules, am I right?
Monkey.
So tell me, how did Orange Drink get started?
So my parents were born in Sri Lanka, and then they moved to the United States, and I was born in Virginia. And around age 10, 12 or so, I started playing different instruments.
Really?
And I got hold of a 4-track recorder and realized that I could play drums, then guitar, then bass, and then sing. And I could create my own band just using the 4-track. So I started writing my own songs and playing all the parts, and that's how Orange Drink got started.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, I was in a couple of bands with some friends around that time, but Orange Drink was my place where I could do anything I wanted and I could go crazy. So that was really important for me to have that.
So how did you get started with two-player productions?
Yeah, so I'm actually childhood friends with Asif. He and I both grew up in Virginia Beach together. Then he went to film school, and I collaborated with him on his senior film project. And then that's where I met Paul Owens, who was also one of his classmates. Then they started two-player productions with Paul Levering, and then they started doing chip music documentaries, and then they called me up to be an assistant camera person, and I got to help out filming some of the early Blip festivals.
Really?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Then when they started working with Double Fine, I helped out with one of the Amnesia Fortnite documentaries. So I've been kind of an adjacent member of two-player productions for a little while. Helping out here and there.
So what was it like scoring the documentary?
This was like a perfect opportunity for me because it combines video games, filmmaking, and music. I mean, 3 of my greatest passions. And then, lo and behold, one of my best friends is actually in the documentary, so that was really crazy. It was really interesting doing scoring because as a musician that does more kind of band or like album-based music, this type of music is not one where you want to have a lot going on. So it was interesting to think about writing music where I know there are going to be people speaking on top of it. So typically I would write a piece of music and I think, okay, well, I need to have bass and drums and guitar and vocals. So this forced me to kind of really rethink that mindset and think of something that was a little bit more stripped down or more reserved or more singular in focus. So they're having a really tense meeting at the studio and I need to really hone in some musical cues that emphasize that tension.
Each level is its own different thing. And some come together quickly and some don't. Sometimes you get an idea and it takes you getting all the way 2/3 of that idea before you go, oh, this isn't gonna work. It's just not gonna work. We thought that we could have this thing that would look this way at this point, and it took us all the way getting there to realize, oh, it's not gonna work. Is there a way that you maybe could have figured that out? I don't know. Maybe?
That's fascinating.
The soundtrack is split into 2 volumes. So volume 1 is all music that was written specifically for the documentary. So I would meet on a weekly basis with the documentary team over a video call. So that's Paul, Renat, Steve, and Paul. And we would go over the footage and the edits that they've been working on. And they might come back to me and say, okay, well, we have this montage of them working on a new build of the game, and we want something really high energy. Or there's a really difficult conversation, and then after that difficult conversation, we need to transition into a completely different topic. So we need something to kind of wind down. And then that needs to be 10 seconds on the dot or something like that. So they would give me a lot of feedback. The other side of it was that I was really given a lot of free rein to just write a ton of music and then just send it to them, and they could say more of this, less of this, or adjust things like that.
Cool. All right, I think that's everything. Thanks, guys.
A common comment that I would get from the team is that the drums were always too loud. I don't know, I do some aggressive mixing sometimes, and I don't think that's really appropriate for a documentary. Yeah, so that was a really interesting lesson, learning how to write, mix, and arrange, knowing that the music is going to complement something else, so you're not the main focus there. I mean, it's really difficult not being the main focus, but it was fine. I'm a team player. I'm a team player.
Yes, yes.
The second volume of the documentary is all pre-existing Orange Drink music. So that's music that I either wrote for albums or for my Weekly Beats projects.
Tell us about Weekly Beats, is it? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Weekly Beats is a website and community of musicians who challenge themselves to write and complete one song a week for an entire year. I've done it 4 years. They do it every other year. And it's a lot of fun. It's really crazy. And I've met a lot of amazing musicians and made a lot of great friends through it.
Wait, did you do Weekly Beats and the documentary at the same time?
Yes. I started working on the documentary in 2021. So 2022, I continued working on the documentary and did Weekly Beats.
Wow.
And to make things crazier, in 2022, I made a music video for every song that I wrote. So I was making music videos, writing and completing new material once a week, and working on the documentary.
Are you serious? What is your secret for doing all this work? How do you do it?
I think when I was younger, I was really focused on motivation and being a genius. So just thinking that I'm going to be in a great mood and I'm going to have all these great ideas and I'm going to have all this energy, and then I'm going to go out and I'm going to write the best song that anyone's ever written. Spoiler alert, that didn't work out. And Weekly Beats really taught me about discipline, that no matter what, just write a song, do your best, and then finish it, and then don't worry about it, because next week you have to do it all over again. So the less I worried about the outcome, the more I think I was able to just stay present and do what was the best that I could do at the time.
Okay. Right, I like that.
I think that's a lot. I think that's less about being this creative genius and more about just showing up. So I think that's the real secret that I learned. It's just about showing up. And then when you just keep showing up, the truth about who you are will be revealed. So it's not about being better than anyone. It's about being the best version of yourself. And I think doing all this music has really just kept me showing up. It's kind of like physical fitness. You know, if you want to get buff, you just keep going to the gym and then you work out as much as you can. And some days you're going to be sore, other days you're going to have a lot of energy, but kind of like just keep showing up and be 1% better than you were last time, and amazing things happen.
That makes sense. What else did you learn?
I struggled with depression and suicidal ideation for a really long time. And yeah, that really got in the way of me wanting to play music or beating myself up saying stuff wasn't good enough or that I was, it wasn't worth it, So, yeah, music has really changed my life for the better. So, yeah, I'm really happy about it. I'm so grateful to the documentary, not only to reach a wider audience, but just to be a part of a really amazing piece of work. I really believe in the documentary. There hasn't been anything like it before. So it's really exciting to be a part of that. It's an honor.
Thanks for telling us your story. So what does Pride Month mean to you?
Happy Pride Month. I really couldn't do any of this without the support of my husband.
Oh, I just love Frank.
Last year when we did the videos, he was a huge part of it.
That's amazing.
And we had never collaborated artistically like that before. Orange Drink was always kind of my thing. But last year, we just kind of accidentally started working together. And it's been so amazing not only to have his support, but for us as a intergenerational, interracial gay couple to just be, seen and to feel like we don't have to hide. And I think that's what Pride is all about. It's about combating that shame. I think queer people all around the world know what it's like to live in shame. So Pride Month is about, stepping out and being proud about who we are, because we're amazing. And my husband's amazing. It's just been great to have his support, and he's kind of a celebrity. I think he gets more fan mail than I do, so it's fine. You get a lot of fan mail too.
Yes. Go on.
Oh man.
So where can people go for more Orange Drink?
Yeah, you can find me on social media. Just look up Orange Drink Music, and then there's orangedrinkmusic.com. Yeah, it'd be great to connect with people, and yeah, you can go on Bandcamp and check out Double Fine PsychOdyssey soundtrack Volume 1 and Volume 2. It's over 4 hours of music, 1 hour of music written specifically for the documentary, and then over 3 hours of other Orange Drink music. So it's a great way to get a glimpse of all the kinds of crazy music that I do of all different genres and styles.
It's been so great to have you. I'm so thankful to have you on the show.
This has been super fun, and I want to wish you the best with Monkey Tonight. I'm really excited that you got your own talk show. I think that's really great.
Mwah, mwah. That does not look like me.